Bore da, croeso I Ynys Môn. And for those who speak English, which I do, and I learnt that especially just for today. Good morning and welcome to Anglesey. Episode 6 of the Spooligan BeachCast. Very special guest today. He's probably got a link to more of you than you know, which I'll go on to shortly. But let's start. Let's meet him. So, morning mate, tell us who you are and what you do.
Good morning, I'm Gary Pye. I work at North East Tackle Supplies in Sunderland, been the manager for 20 years. Love fishing, love matches, love anything to do with distance casting. Brilliant.
Happy days. Now you've had a bit of a trek down, obviously. Mine was about 5 hours 20. What was yours?
About 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. And you're here for the week.
Yeah, we have to wait. The weather's terrible. We can't get on the marks where we need to be to get the tour. Frustrating.
Hence why we're filming at the back of the van at Gary's camp, because my camp is wild. It's like the Cairngorms. So yeah, we're making do with what we've got before we get to the marking fishing today. So we'll get started with the beach cast out the back of the van, the best we can do. If a bare ass walks in now in a second, it's just Gary's mate. He's a bit of a loon, typical northeast sense of humour. So yeah, if you see some bums, I apologise. This is not for children. Okay, right, to refer back to my link I mentioned earlier about Gary having a link to all of you guys. This guy had an input and design of the T900 T1000, arguably the most popular rods out there. Now I'm at T1000 years, I've had T900s. What's that feel like to to have been involved in something that you can literally go to any beach, anywhere, not even in the UK, internationally, and see something you've done?
It's fantastic, massive achievement for myself. I don't like to take all the credit. Obviously, Century's a brilliant company. They put the carbons together. Yep. Designs, we have to change some carbons sometimes, the tips. The T1000 took 2 goes to make. Butt section was brilliant. Tip section on the end needed a little bit more material. And it went from there. The reason why the T1000 was born, the Excalibur come out. Yep. It was out about 3 years. And our Simon, we needed a very similar rod to the Excalibur for braid users, but on a thinner mandrel.
Okay. And
that took at least a year to 2 years to.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Is what's the development process look like for something like that? That the performance aspect of composites blows my mind slightly. I've had a little dabble of it. I made a prototype bait box out of composites, and I know it's so involved. So, and they're still made in the UK, aren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's something I'm all for. Is that and there's a lot of other brands which are bringing in white label Chinese stuff, sticking their name on it and calling it, and trying to compete with a British-made rod that's got a development process like that. And I mean, it melts my mind to go to a beach and see Spooligan stuff. So for you, that must just be crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It's a massive achievement. And
yeah, mate. I only recently found out, I suppose, last 12, 18 months about you and the fact that you're involved with it, through the other guys at Spooligan. To have that sense of feeling, right the way throughout my design career, I've done stuff and worked on things, and you go somewhere and you see, I did that, I was involved in that project. It's a really fuzzy, warm feeling to think, yeah, man, I was involved in that. Yeah. But something like those rods.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling, and that rod now is actually 10 years old.
Is it?
Yeah, the T1000, yeah.
Well, I got a customer in New Zealand, Mark Bannister, hello mate. He's a 900 user. Your rods are all over the world.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So you're still actively involved then in Century development?
Yeah.
And I know, without contravening any sort of NDAs or any trade secrets out, what's in the pipeline, mate? Any?
There's some very interesting rods coming out very soon. I can't say much for the camera, but I will show you today.
Well, I won't put you out on camera because I don't want Century phoning me up and giving me grief, or giving Gary grief, or Gary giving me grief for putting something in the video I shouldn't. But yeah, keep an eye out for them. Right, let's talk a bit of fishing now. And for those of you who know Gary, he's a bit of a fish magnet. So what's the secret formula to being such a prolific angler?
I think it's obviously the key, definitely good bait.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Knowing your marks.
Knowledge.
Your tides.
Yeah.
Weather.
See, I've asked this question a few times to some of the guys on BeachCast. How much of a factor is things like moon phase, air pressure, factor in on what you're...
I don't let that air pressure and stuff bother us. That doesn't...
Because I know like the northeast way is very simplistic, hardcore, kind of like just get out there, smash a bait out, whether it's kelp or whatever you're in, just get on it. You know what I mean?
I'm always a big believer that the better the tide, the better the fishing.
Okay. And when you say better, as in
bigger tide.
Bigger tide, okay. Okay, bigger the tide. Is that because of the tidal flow and
more pull?
Yeah. And the fish,
especially for the hound fishing as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, today we're in Anglesey, and this is a session we've had planned, or we've discussed for a few months now. You fished here before, haven't you? Was it last year?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Brilliant. 9 in a session, about roughly £39.
9?
Yeah, phenomenal fishing.
Is that fresh bait or frozen? Or?
Again, a lot of people like fresh mackerel. I've caught just as many on frozen mackerel.
It's good because that's all I've got with me.
I've got some fresh
the thought of trying to catch fresh today, I don't think we're going to get into them, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no.
Now, I want to fish for cod in your neck of the woods. What tactics, time of year would you recommend, for me to come up and have a go? Those kelpy cods and all that sort of stuff.
As soon as we get the cold snap, end of September, we normally get a good run of nice codlins.
Yeah.
Last year was poor with the codlin fishing, but we had a lot of haddocks. Never ever seen so many haddocks.
Something I never caught.
Loads.
Something I never caught. Because Bristol Channel, the cod fishing is sporadic at best. You don't get the codlin, you don't get the sort of couple of 2 or 3 pounders a sesh. It's the occasional clonker. I know off the sort of Bristol Minehead area there was a 30 something caught this year. It's just those. It's the occasional clonker. There's no general sort of codlin that all right, now and again you get one decent enough to take home and eat. But yeah, it's just died, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's certainly changing, the Bristol Channel. Like this year, there was mackerel off the nap. I've never known that, ever. I mean, not that it's something I've ever fished when I was a kid, but it was like mackerel fever. It hit Barry. It was insane. Boats were out there stocking up, and then bait shops were filling their freezers with it. And I'm like, fair play. So yeah, I don't know whether it's that's changed the cod fishing in my neck of the woods. I don't know, but I mean, when I watch all the videos and like full circle angling and all the guys up there, I'm like, I got to get up there. I got to have a go. It's not a million miles away from South Wales, in terms of rough. It's sort of big tides, rough ground, snaggy stuff. So it's not going to be unfamiliar territory, but the way you do things up there is very different. You always fish one rod.
One.
South Wales is a strange thing to have a matching pair. I mean, I've got them with me today, but I'm going to take your advice and just take one. So yeah, it's definitely on my hit list. As soon as that sort of cold snap comes in, I'm coming up.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
And I'll have a go. we'll try. So fishing wise, when did you get into the sport? What age did fishing become your thing?
I think it was around when I was about 6 years old. Got the bug.
Is that somebody that introduced you to it?
Yeah, there was quite a few of us went down when we were young kids, and obviously we grew up, and obviously we've got gear bought for like Christmas and stuff which you don't say kids getting stuff for Christmas.
No, it's still all just PlayStations. So they sat indoors. I got one of them 14-year-old ones at home and never leaves a room. So
it's quite it's worrying for the future generation of anglers.
I mean, it's the guy I'm fishing with tomorrow, Harry. He's in his early 20s, just graduated. And it's nice to see somebody that enthusiastic getting into the sport. And I think despite he just graduated with his marine biology, I think it was.
Right.
Despite that, I think he's got eyes on a career.
He's a nice lad. I actually met him yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I think the forecast is looking better too. So hence why we're filming in the back of a van. So I've known you for a few months now, and I follow your social media and stuff, and you get around the country quite a lot.
Yeah, I like to travel.
What's any particular favourite areas or marks that you like fishing?
We're quite lucky. Obviously, we like to fish for the smooth hounds in the summer months. We like to go to the Holderness course, which is 2.5 hours drive. And I like Blackpool.
Come on in, don't worry about. Oh, look at this! Look at this! I told you he'd turn up. I've warned them your ass might be out as well. So, coffee and chocolate, North East hospitality, despite being in Wales. Cheers, buddy. So like hounds and Holderness, things like that. Any other areas?
We like to go to Blackpool. That's been quite good for us this year as well. Hounds up to £18.
Where did you have that 24?
That was on the Holderness course side. That was a mark called Easington, £24.5.
That's
cracking.
Ridiculous, mate. What was the fight like on that?
Oh, unbelievable. I knew it was a big hound when I hooked it, because obviously I had to give it line, and took a lot of line. I knew it was a big fish. There was a guy next to us helped us land it, and I was lucky.
That's just bonk. I think the record's only like 28, isn't it?
I think there was a guy over our way. He had one from Skeggy, a good caster, and a good friend of mine called John Ward. He had a big one. I think that was a rough 27 and a half.
That's insane fish.
Crazy.
That's just, how the hell you control that? You know, like, I think my best is like, you know, mid-teens, something like that, and they're powerful.
Yeah,
like, when you try and unhook them and you're trying to weigh them in the sling, they're powerful. But
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that size, Jesus Christ. Any overseas experience? Have you been abroad?
Norway a lot.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Norway, and then you've got to
Lots.
tell me now.
Yeah.
I had a 300-pound halibut.
No, nothing that big. I only short fish in Norway. The best catch was a 75-pound halibut, which was big.
75?
And took some land, and that was on a T900 as well.
Oh, well, there you are. That's testament to what you designed. You know what I mean? Bringing in a fish that's 75 pounds. Because I was meant to go for my 40th, which was years ago. And at the time, I only thought, I know it was boats. I didn't realise shore fishing was so bloody good.
I think the first time I went with a good friend of mine, Ian Peacock. He had a holiday company called Dinto UK. And he set up, obviously, the shore fishing in Norway, and he took us over quite a lot. Fish the marks, suss them out.
Is it expensive?
It all depends. Obviously, 4 years ago or 6 years ago in a house, it evens out the price. The higher cars, it can be expensive.
A gang of you share the cost.
Say if you say £1,000 all in with flights, it should be give or take somewhere near.
I'm possibly going to Kenya next year with Harry from Veals, and I think the actual travel is okay. You know, it's £800 for a flight, but I think the fishing is expensive, and it's on a boat for giant trevallies and stuff, which I'm shit on boats. I'm in an hour about it, but it's going to be my treat to myself for my 50th. So, right, fixed spools, right?
Right.
I'm only a recent convert to the magic of fixed spools. You know, I'm a South Wales-based fisherman, and the mentality there is multipliers. Yeah. Right. I know the Northeast, in contrast, is very much fixed spool. What's the reason for that? Why do you think that is?
I think it's just obviously today's fixed spools are so modernised. You know, years ago you would get a fixed spool, you would put braid on it, it'd be all over the rod, the spool would be rocking. The technology and design now is superior. With braid, obviously there's no stretch in braid, but if you get windy conditions, you can cast miles. If you get a headwind, it just cuts through, it travels.
Do you not get any sort of wind knots?
You don't get any wind knots. The only reason why you'll get wind knots, I mean, I tell a lot of people working in the shop, if you overfill your spool.
Right.
So what I say to the lads, if you've got the spool, put your braid on, get a ruler and put a straight edge on the side of the spool. If that braid's touching the straight edge, it's going to wind knot. So try and keep it under the lip.
That's my downfall, and I had one little brief go at braid. It was all right. But when you got a big tide, that mono's got that little bit of stretch in it, a bit more forgiving. I was picking up bites off everything. It is like you're right in contact with the business end of your line now, but yeah, maybe I should have another.
A lot of people buy the fixed spools, try the braid. They'll say they miss bites, but what I'll explain to them, if a fish is that big or a fish is that big, it's going to pull the rod over the stand. Persevere with it.
Yeah. Well, I went from multipliers to fixed spool with Penn surf blasters, and I thought they were great.
Yeah, I think they were fantastic.
I had my Tope on it. You know? Then I went to XSEs. I thought they were the nuts. And then John bought powered arrows, and I had to go, and I'm like, oh, holy sh!
Is that the new ones as well?
PGs.
Yeah, they are nice.
And I'm like, I'm having some of them.
They're good.
Not cheap. I know, in terms of fixed spools, they're certainly not the most expensive things out there. You know, some of these other ones are £1,000 and big things, but oh my God, I am never going back to multiplier.
Yeah, good choice of rails.
I absolutely love them. It's just easy. You know, even if when you have a fish on and you're retrieving, you're not worrying about your line lay. Because, like, you know, you'll have a fish and then your next cast on a multiplier is dog shit because you've been so busy controlling a fish or focusing on that your line lay's terrible and your next cast is dog. Anyway, no, but I'm, never going back. Absolutely love them. Total convert. Now, I thought you were going to say something like that the marks up northeast, certainly, you know, some of your cliff marks, you need that much line capacity.
No, I don't think it's to do with that. No, because if I wasn't using a fixed spool, I would use a 525. And I would fish 18-pound sensor on a 525.
Okay, because every video the Northeast boys I watch, like Stuart Hurd on the Zolkron Sports one, Full Circle Angling, I'm sure his name's David Craig.
I've heard the name before. Yeah.
And I'm Craig David.
Yeah.
My middle name is David, so I was like, I watch him quite a lot, and I like the sort of production value of his videos as well. So if he's watching, I thought, right, it must be a northeast thing of like fixed spool, and I'm trying to work out why, what it is, because one of the things I've got to do as a designer for Spooligan is understand different anglers in different locations, why they do things. I got to understand matchmen a lot more. I've got to understand matchmen a lot more to be able to design products for those guys. And the geographical differences is one of the things that I'm determined to understand. So that's why I was going to pick your brains today about the whole fixed spool multiplier thing. But okay, that's pretty good. Right, I know we've travelled quite a long way, and I know the weather's kind of against us today. So I don't want to hold us up any longer, because I know how far are we going today for the mark?
It's about 20 minutes.
So 20 minutes, so I don't want to hold to it. So we'll smash into the Rapid 10 section.
Go on.
Obviously, I'll film today, while we're fishing and bits and bobs. And I have got my mascot with me. She's in the cab, my rescue pup. So you'll meet her later on if she actually wants to be on camera. Female, you know what they're like. So Rapid 10. All right, this is the northeast one now.
Go on.
Have you ever had chicken parmo?
Yes.
And describe it to non-northeast viewers.
Horrible.
Is it?
It depends how it's cooked. If you get a takeaway one, the chicken's always dry.
Now, I only know about this because the company I work for, my other job, we've got 2 terminals up in Seal Sands and North Tees. And when I've been on training courses with some of the guys from up there, we go out afterwards, have a beer, and they're like, "Oh, we go for chicken parmo." I'm like, "What?" So what is it? It's like fried chicken.
It's fried chicken with it's breaded and cheese over the top.
Parmesan, I presume. Hence the parmo.
It's not my cup of tea.
But it's proper boozy. After you've been on a piss.
100%.
At Cardiff, it's chicken curry off the bone from Chippy Alley. I mean, up north, chicken parmo. So if you're ever up north, get on it. I'm telling you. Right. Question 2. Dream location to cast the line, and what are you targeting?
That one, I would like to go tuna fishing from the boat. So I like to watch that wicked tuna.
Oh, mate, I love it.
It's fantastic,
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely, any fishing program I want. I'm obsessed with fishing programs and things like that. What's his name on the pinwheel? Him and his sister go out fishing.
Marv,
Tyler
and Marv or something you call his sister.
Yeah, I'm like...
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm not too into the pineapple thing, because I know there's some sort of weird innuendo with pineapples and things like that, and never take a banana on a boat.
Bananas.
Or stuff like that. So tuna fishing over there.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yeah, some of them are monsters, aren't they?
Massive.
I mean, I know they've had what they call them, jumbos or slobs or whatever they call that, up to like £1,000. That's just, how the hell do you even catch something like that? It's insane. One bait you always pack for a session.
Oh, it's got to be paler crab, fresh paler crab.
Hey, I thought when I started it, everyone would say squid. Squid, number one. It's the most universal bait, but everyone's peeler crab. But I'm guessing you've got a good supply up there.
I'm not seeing nothing.
Everyone's got like South Wales, there is a cartel of like peeler crab, and I know there's a certain well-known angler who gets stuff from Devon and it comes up that way. But bait is definitely something I need to improve on. Should sea angling be an Olympic sport? Bearing in mind, I think, I don't know if this might be true or not, I read that breakdancing's in there this year.
It should be, I would say, yes.
Yeah, or casting.
Definitely
I think casting would make better viewing, because like I know the skeet shooting was there, and that was pretty good, man. I did a bit of shooting as a kid, and I'm like watching it, I thought, do you know what? I think they could do casting, or fishing might be a bit, from a spectator kind of point of view, a bit boring, but the casting definitely.
Definitely, 100%.
I haven't seen videos of like Westwood Ho and South Wales area, man. And boys, and like some of the techniques. Like Danny Moscop's, how
crazy.
A big guy like that off balances so much. I'm like, Jesus. Have you ever met him?
I've met him loads of times.
I'm guessing with the Century link that
gentle giant.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a lovely lad.
He can smash a lead. Fair play to him. All right. What was your first ever rod?
Oh, you're gonna laugh. A Century Scratcher.
How long ago?
Well, I'm 44 now. So that's
That's pretty decent rod to start
many years ago. They're around about 12 foot.
Yeah.
And I built me way up the Century range. Ended up with a Scratcher.
Have you always fished Century?
Yeah. I've only ever used one Ziplex.
I've never owned one. It's one rod I've never owned.
So I went from a Century Scratcher to a Century Slammer.
I remember those. That's with the 8-foot tip and the
Yeah,
shorter
yeah,
butt.
quite
Yeah.
a short butt.
Yeah.
Then after that, I went to like Century Vector tournaments.
I had a Vector Sport.
Raptors.
Don't remember those.
I had blue ones, green ones.
Yeah, my Vector Sport was like a greeny tinge to the finish.
There was quite a few ranges of tip tornadoes and compressors. Some were black, some were red. Grand Prix tournament versions. But when you look at today's technology to back then, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Coniflex Highlander, one of my favourite rods I've owned, and it was bloody heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to, like, you know, my 1000s are bigger, but they're so light.
Yeah.
You know, like, the first time I picked up a 1000, it was Carl who fished with us, and he had power aero on it, and I had to go with it down a sandspit in Sully and Barry. I was just like, my God, this is so light.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just so much easier to handle, but yeah, they're so powerful.
Coniflex were heavy because of the glass content in the rod.
Is it?
There was a lot of glass in them.
Yeah, because I know the boys had Nemesis. Was it Coniflex Nemesis SLR or Scorpion Sports?
There was loads.
And they were meaty rods,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
geez, it was like a scaffold pole. I mean, I could never use one. Now, hooks of choice now, and I know you're not a dongle guy.
No, definitely not.
But what about circles in general? You know, I know on some of the videos I've had a wire dongle when we were on the bullhouse down west, and I lost some fish. And I put like a question out to the viewers, saying that, I mean, what's the point of it if you're going to lose it? And a few people rightly commented, look, it's to do with deep hooking and fish welfare. Okay, I get that, I understand that, but at the end of the day, you want to catch fish. Yeah, yeah. And we do our best to make sure they go back unharmed. So, hook choice for you?
I don't use circles, but I use something very similar, which is called a chinook.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
3 oars, and my point hook, I swear by Gamakatsu's.
Ooh, Gamakatsu, who makes that?
Gamakatsu's.
Japanese,
yeah. We sell lots in the shop, very sharp. We've got barbs on the shank.
Oh, we do.
So if you use worms or if you use crab, you've got the cotton to bite into the.
And I know you know fish boys. They go all sorts of little tweaks and tips, like bent paper clips.
Yeah.
All little like. You know, whenever I watch, I'm like, oh, I like that idea. You know, I'm always watching, always observing things of how I can incorporate things. Now, this is a bit of a sad one. Now, is it? One of the episodes when I fished with Real Minds, I put one of the questions in saying, oh, Rex Hunt or John Wilson. And we got chatting, he said, oh, definitely John Wilson, blah, blah, blah. I only just realised that he made me aware that John Wilson was dead.
Yeah.
I was like, go. Now, I was going to suggest, or say, what TV programmes you watch, but I think I know now, because Wicked Tuna.
Wicked Tuna.
Yeah, now I watch everything, you know, and there's some big Northeast celebrities, you know, you got your Robson Green.
Yeah, Robson,
Bob Mortimer, he's up that way, isn't he?
He's somewhere, I can't remember the place where he was from, but it's...
Because I watch Mortimer and Whitehouse when they take Ted fishing. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Two lads having a bit of banter going around, so... But do you watch any YouTube?
I do a little bit research, obviously marks around the country. You'll type in the mark, if you type in Anglesey, you'll get to see different videos and you can work out yourself where they're fishing. And there's a lot of information on YouTube videos. Not many people like them, but they give information.
Well, that's a bone of contention. Is whenever I've said where we are or said that people have, some people are like, oh, thanks, brilliant information, and others are like, oh, great, you've ruined the mark now for giving away information. But these are public spaces.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're not secret. So, okay. Now, I believe it or not, I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore because I just don't have time anymore. It's just ridiculous. Okay, let's keep going. Funniest, strangest, the best thing you've seen while fishing? This is a common question I ask people, and I'm always keen to put it in because you get some bizarre answers, and you know whether it's nudists or strange fish.
There was one year when we went to Isle of Man, I think it was 2017, and we're fishing Point of Air for the Tope.
Yeah.
It was a year where it was mental and there was loads of Tope. It was a Tope cast.
Isle of Man.
And my friend bought a brand new T1000. He bought a brand new Technium. And we're on the beach and he walked away and a Tope took it straight off the stand and lost a lot.
That's a 600 quid reel.
Are you talking 1,200, 1,300 quid at the top?
Oh.
It was funny at the time, but it wasn't funny for him.
Brand new kit.
Brand new out the bag as well.
Oh. Yeah, those Techniums are sweet, but they're like 600 quid, aren't they?
It was the original ones. They don't make them anymore. They discontinued them.
Oh, yeah, I feel sorry for him. Now, have you ever dabbled in any other forms of fishing? You know, whether it's coarse, carp, fly, barbel?
A fly fish.
Fly?
Yeah.
Well, I know your boss, Liam, he's a salmon boy.
Salmon fishers and he fly fishers as well.
I when I've watched TV programs, it looks graceful. Don't get me wrong, I'm guessing the learning curve is quite decent. But yeah, it's certainly something I like to have a bash at.
You get to learn a lot, different tactics, and
yeah, I know that sort of they study the water and look for back eddies and things like that, and it's
a lot of finesse.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, like I've been to like game fairs, and they do demonstrations of flying, and there's a guy with like 6-7 rods in each hand just giving that. I'm like, I probably couldn't do one. I'm the most uncoordinated, clumsy bastard going. So yeah, it's probably not for me. Any fishing heroes that you look up to or admire?
Oh, it's got to be Jim Dobie from the northeast.
Jim Dobie.
Yeah, he's one of our veteran anglers from our club.
Yeah.
He's won lots of matches over the years. He's good in the rivers. He's good in the sea.
Natural fisherman or just pure experience and
pure
knowledge?
Experience and knowledge. I've learned a lot off him, to be fair.
This is a conversation I've had with most people on BeachCast. Is it pure? Because some people can catch with bare hooks. You know, you Gareth Griffiths, Lee Burns, you. People are just amazing at it. I'm not. I'm chuffing useless, but I'm the most keen, committed person who's up for it. You know what I mean, I'll drive 5 hours to come and fish and film, and I'll have a go, but I don't catch. Gareth Griffiths, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's good, Gareth.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
you catch anywhere. The guy's phenomenal, hence his name, the Human Trawler.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a phenomenal fisherman, and guiding is his natural kind of progression where I think he should be, definitely. Okay, so is that guy still fishing now? Or?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's in his late 80s now.
Still fishing?
Yeah, and I still see him every fortnight when we fish our local club matches.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Still fishing at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to wake and like, I'm only a recent sort of learner of sort of bigger casts, but I'm trying to future-proof myself and make something that's smooth and not too taxing on my body, because a lot of my old rugby injuries are starting to present themselves, and I'm like, it's pointless having some fantastic massive cast that in 5 years time I'm like, I just can't do it.
Craking.
I get out of bed with injuries. I'm like, what the hell happened to me? Okay, right, we're going to sort of get ourselves ready to get up to Holyhead area.
Yeah, Holyhead area.
Mate, thank you. Appreciate you taking time to fish with me.
No, you're welcome.
Chatting with me, beg your pardon. We're going to fish shortly. Let's get on the mark. Let's see if we can get into some Anglesey fishing. Obviously, I'll take the cameras with me. The edits will be done when I get back from holiday. So let's have a quick coffee and let's see if we can get ourselves into fish. Nice one, mate. Okay, you join us on the mark. Obviously, we did our BeachCast bit back at the van, purely because the weather was going to be bad. But as we've got here, it's dried up, it's warming up, and it's looking good. We're on a very precarious cliff edge, casting into some very deep water. It's round about high water now. Lads in the background behind me. They're just about to start having a bash for some fresh mackerel. So far, doggies. It's only the second cast, so we've not long been here. The rain has dried up, thankfully. So we'll have a little scout round to see what the tide's doing, where it's moving. But we've definitely got some deep water, and there are a few pots reasonably within our range, so we've got to be mindful of if we do get a run from anything with teeth, we've got to watch out for those. So yeah, any action will certainly bring you back. But yeah, Holyhead it is.
On the island, back to the other side, throwing it down with rain. Yeah, you put it swarm.
Yeah. Alright, come off some of that.
Welcome back. Thought I'd give you a little update. We're on the ebb now. Bit more tide movement. It's definitely moving the baits around more. And so I just lost an end because it pulled me in and didn't get that one back. I know the boys are trying with lures and feathers, and they've had some mackerel, pollock. So there's fish there. Plenty of dogs. They seem to be plaguing us and taking the baits. Thankfully no spider crabs or anything at the moment. Just a small strap eel for myself so far. So nothing a target, tope or bullus or anything like that. But plenty of time to go. My sidekick's getting a little bit bored. If you can see her there. She's eaten half a mackerel, so she's happy. So yeah, hopefully we get some fish. We'll bring you back with a bit of action.
Come on, you bastard! Right on top of the water, Gary. She's big.
Here we go, boy.
Is that it, Gary?
Scales are saying 40, but the eyes are saying more, bud. Yeah, boy! Woo! Well, that was a mad 10 minutes. Darren, with that tope, obviously I got the footage. Hopefully that all comes out well, but we've weighed it. It's gone back lovely, swam off nice. So that came in at 40 pound, although, if I'm honest, when I helped pull it up off the rocks, it felt a lot more than 40, and in his arms it certainly looked more. But yeah, cracking fish. In fairness, he's worked his ass off all day, feathering for mackerel and getting fresh, and he's given Gary and myself a few, so fingers crossed one of us can get one too. But yeah, lovely fish and hell of a scrap, and almost took him round the corner, so he did well to land that. And it's not an easy place to go down and land fish, but yeah, went back well. It swam off nicely, so that's always a bonus. So yeah, and the plan is tonight we're going out for steak. Woo! Back at the van. I left Gary and Darren there to have last casts. The dog was getting a bit fed up and a bit hungry, so I decided to come back, and I got a bit of admin to do in terms of charging up the devices ready for tomorrow, because I'm fishing with Mr Harry Mason, local lad. Yeah, slightly different mark tomorrow. I think we're heading just to the side of Amlwch, hopefully get out of the weather, and chance of some huss, rays, wrasse, and maybe tope. But yeah, a bit wet, a bit tired, very hungry, so out with the lads tonight. Gonna have a bite to eat, a couple of beers, and no doubt discuss Darren's cracking fish today. So yeah, great day and all. Great to meet the boys, especially Gary, who I've got to know the last few months and is a Spooligan customer as well for North East Tackle Supplies. So yeah, fishing with the legend. It was a great day. Tiring because it was a bit of a trek, and coming back I had to carry the dog because she was tired and fed up. So yeah, so let's go and have some food, let's have a shower, let's get out of these smelly clothes and get ready for tomorrow's beach cast. See you tomorrow, Harry.